Okay, here's another game of League of Legends coming your way, this time from the mid lane. Let's see if Kane gets first pick since he got through bans.
Probably not.
Wow. So we are going to post-game commentary here. Pretty much, if you want to know, I had nothing nice to say about Kane for the rest of the game. So, with Malz, he is a much safer, better blind pick. He's especially good right now with the whole lethality thing going on. As a result, I want someone who's going to play from a distance and basically just not even bother with the whole lethality crap. I'm thinking just nuke the wave, go stand around somewhere, try to spot out the jungler, that type of thing. And that's pretty much my plan here. But anyway, Vel'Koz is my second most played mid laner these days, more so than Veigar. And I do play a lot of the V guys now that I notice. Veigar, Vel'Koz, Vi, Victor. Not so much Vladimir, but I'm trying to get more Volibear, and I want to try the Cinderhulk into Righteous Glory next time I play him, so something to look forward to. But anyway, we will have the sound back. In case you're wondering, we also lost some time on the Ekko pick because I wanted to cut something out. But as for the whole Ekko thing, his objective is kill me. That's his win condition, pretty much. As long as I can just farm from a distance with my W, I'm eventually going to win. So right here I'm amending my mastery page. I'm going to take the biscuits because I want more security, I guess that'd be the best way to describe it. I also take another point of meditation because I'm going to need the mana early. Unfortunately, it's not going to help you too much at that early, but I need everything I can get, basically. What's also a little disappointing is had I taken the Executioner, I might have gotten a couple extra kills this game. So in case you're wondering, Pantheon is the guy who took Fiora and Riven's crown as of this newest patch. You see him come up a lot, he stacks lethality, and it's just really bad news. I mentioned the big problem with the whole lethality buff is since it scales off of the user's level now, it is a snowballer's dream. And that's what Pantheon wants. So you'll see what happens with Fiora. I'm not going to spoil it, but based on what I said, you can probably already imagine. Anyway, as for the Kane, in case you're wondering, he is going to go Assassin this game. So that alone probably got your guys' attention, I imagine. But anyway, here is the loading screen. It's still extremely slow, not entirely sure why. And I should probably mention I am thinking about taking a break from League until this whole lethality stuff gets dealt with, because it's just ridiculous at the moment. Like, anytime I make some progress, I'll run into a game where I either have a top laner who doesn't know how to play or an AD carry who doesn't know how to play, and they single-handedly lose the game by feeding someone with lethality. So in case you're wondering, I did have a game where I think it was a Jhin on my side against an enemy Misfortune, fed his ass off, then we got mowed down by bullet time as the mid-game approached. Of course he's arguing, don't worry, we got late game, as they're taking our Nexus in 30 minutes. That's one of those things I really like about the game, how someone feeds their ass off and they're actually taking the base and they're still arguing, we have late game. And all the while they're too stupid to realize the late game is 30 seconds from now. We don't have it. The joys of being on North America. But anyway, we have a Thunderlord's Lee Sin, a Thunderlord's Pantheon, and a Thunderlord's Ekko, so all three of them are looking for assassinations. And like I said, my objective here is don't die. If I do that, that's going to take a lot of wind out of Ekko's sails. As for the Talia, you'll see she's running Fervor, and Karma is running Wind Speakers, which I really do recommend for their team. Overall, they may be a bit on the squishy side if Lee goes for Assassin, so getting a little bit of extra defenses out of the Wind Speakers can really add up. As for our side, you'll know Sona has Wind Speakers, Jin has the Warlord's Bloodlust. I myself am running Thunderlords because I was just thinking poke from a distance. Based on what I know now, Deathfire Touch would have actually been better. That's what I usually run too. As for Kayn, I can't quite see his mastery here, but it looks like Grasp of the Undying, which is kind of bad. And then Fiora is running Fervor, which is the norm. So nothing too out of the ordinary. Pantheon is running Ignite, Ekko's running Teleport, and the reason for that being is Pantheon just has that much more kill pressure than Fiora. Plus it will allow them to still split push late game because they can have Ekko answer the Fiora, so there is that. But yeah, we have to wait for Sona to connect. Unfortunately, she steals a lot of kills this game. You'll see what I mean as it progresses. If you want a bit of a taste of what's to come, one of the most annoying things she does is she spams her Q and her empowered auto while I'm ulting people to kill them. They would have literally died to my laser, but she goes ahead and steals it. Anyway, you'll notice Jin started Duran Shield, Kayn started with the Hunter's Medallion, Fiora has Duran Blade, I have Duran Ring, and Sona has Spell Thieves. Right here, I'm staying guard in case of potential invade. You'll see that Ekko eventually wanders out into that brush. Overall, if you're playing a mid laner, it really doesn't matter who you're playing. You should be staying guard on one of the buffs if you're not actually invading. So if you're, like, let's say there's an Ivern on the field, or a Nunu, someone who's really good at counter jungling, you may not actually want to stand guard over here, but on the buff that your jungler is not taking, just see if they're making an early move. Anyway, there's Ekko, so I give him a greeting with my W. I get to poke him a little bit, but this early it really doesn't matter. He's going to regen by the time laning starts, and so will my mana, so it's like literally no benefit whatsoever. It's just being annoying. So right there you can see in the time lapse of a few seconds I got 5% of my mana back, and by the time the minions arrive I'll be at full. But in case you're wondering, I really do recommend picking up Vel'Koz if you're not really comfortable in laning against specific characters, because you can just farm from a distance. Just throw out your 2 Ws per wave, throw out an E maybe on the melees, and you'll clear the entire wave with your passive. So right here I'm just hitting him to try to preserve my passive, so that I can get the true damage proc. So unfortunately that doesn't really proc Thunderlords. That was only 2 hits exactly. But you can see I took a bit of an advantage early, it's just I have no desire to play off of that. I'm running Ghost, so I can't really kill him. I had to use my E at point blank just to dissuade him from going in. And he got his Thunderlords off. So this is why I'm saying you have to farm from a distance. He has his E as an immediate gap closer. I'm going to sacrifice 1 minion here to prime both of these. And get neither of them. So overall I'm not too worried about the Q harass because it's going to burn through his mana a lot faster than it burns through my health. His Q is fairly expensive. Both of us have those 3-hit passive type things that deal bonus damage. Putting the extra point in my W so that lowers its cooldown. And here is the beginning of Sona's chaosing. you'll notice Kayn goes down in the top lane. I did get a Thunderlord's proc off there. And I wanted to keep that one just outside of tower range by letting it too close. Anyway, your Q is your next best friend when it comes to farming from a distance because you get half the mana cost back if you kill a minion. If you kill 2, you get the full mana cost back, and if you can kill 3, which is actually not as hard as it sounds, you'll actually get more mana back when you start. So right here you'll notice I finally run through my mana for the most part. The good news is he's pretty much in the same boat, so he's not really going to be able to push as hard. He has 1 charge left on his Corrupting Potion. It's just, I don't know if he's running any points in Meditation. If he's running everything in Executioner, it's even worse for him. So we get to put another point to the W, that's going to boost its damage, so I have a little bit safer fighting. And right here, Ekko goes ahead and tells Kayn, hey, I know you're there, so Kayn goes ahead and takes the invitation to jump in. Overall, that was a bad move on Ekko's part. You do not want to tell them that you know they're there, because you can waste their time. Basically, you're taking some pressure off of your teammates. But that is a hard-to-grasp concept in solo queue. So right here he went ahead and went back so that he could get more stacks on his Corrupting Potion, so I'm pushing this in. Then I'm going to go back myself. So I'm pinging that he used his teleport, that's pressure off my bot lane primarily. And when I go back I want to get the Lost Chapter so I have mana regen upon level up. I go ahead and buy a pink ward, another biscuit, and I'm overall in a pretty good spot. It's going to be even worse for him now because I have more AP, more mana. By having more mana, I get more mana back from Meditation. And it does add a little bit onto my passive. Since I'm in the habit of the old Vel'Koz, I don't always remember that your passive now does have an AP ratio. At one time it was just fixed damage, scaling off the level. So I now have my ult. And keep in mind, I do not have any pressure on Ekko at any point of the game. The reason for that being is if he gets low, he just ults and he's safe. He has a get out of jail free card. So Riot throws a fit when other characters have that, but it's okay for Ekko to have it. It also doesn't help that he's the most mobile character in the game. So you can see right there I got the mana back. The pink ward is not really going to survive. He's, in case you're wondering, this is a little bit unlucky on my part, but he's thinking I'm going to get the blue buff. Which, apparently he doesn't understand how solo queue works. So right there I go ahead and poke him. Since I'm not actually doing live commentary for this, I'm actually more focused on doing the whole geometry shots, so be aware you're going to see those more later. And then my goal here now is, since I have the pushing pressure, you'll notice he has a Dark Seal. He's really looking to snowball, which I'm not going to let him do. All I have to do is just burn through his potion, and that's it. He's now last hand with his autos, and I'm going to be poking him while he does so. Like, to put into context for you, he doesn't even have a Duran Ring. He does not get the mana back on last hits. He's recalling in the brush right now, I think. So I could have interrupted him, but I hesitated too long. So as I was saying, he has no mana regen. Once he burns through his potion, that's it. And now remember, he used his teleport. He has to walk back. And this is what I mean by Vel'Koz can clear the wave so damn easily. Now, since he went back, there's no reason for me to stay. I can go back in Amplifying Tome and Boots. Reason why I want the Boots, though, is because I'm really anticipating Lee Sin to show up any time now, because I am an immobile mid laner. It's just kind of weird that he takes so long to show up when he finally does. So Ekko has Hex Tech, still no mana regen. And keep in mind that Hex Tech gives him a little bit of AP, but he only gets the active effect if he auto-attacks me, which I'm not letting him do. Because I think the last time he did that was level 2, and right now we're at level 7. And as I said earlier, since the Q does have a mana refund aspect to it, do not hesitate to use it to last hit. So I'm putting more points into the Q for a better slow. The other thing that I'll get from it is, you'll notice right there I got back to full mana. There he is. And I fired my ult the wrong way. Had I fired it the right way, I would have killed Lee. So I'm firing this because I know Ekko's going to try to jump the wall, and you'll notice I clipped him with it. So he threw his Q that way thinking I'm going to follow him, but it's a really bad idea for me to do that. He is stronger than me at melee range. Now the good news is, since I forced Lee out and Ekko's on the retreat, we pretty much are free to go ahead and take the dragon here. So if you notice, the bot lane has roamed up. They're going to go ahead and do that while I answer Ekko's push mid. Since he can't really do anything there, he is making the correct choice here on trying to apply pressure here to draw me away. Bad news for him is, like I said, I have immense amounts of wave clear. Geometry shot. So right here we're going to force his ult. So I fired the Q there anticipating the flash. He flashed afterwards, but that just caused Jhin to kill him instead. Yeah. So right here I'm tanking Dragon for the team so that it doesn't reset. You'll notice Fiora has helped me take this. So that's an Infernal Dragon for us. Kane killed Karma. And we're in a much better position. So this early in the game, the Infernal doesn't really matter as much, but every time I buy an AP item from here on out for the rest of the game, it's going to be even more influential. And if you didn't notice, that's an Infernal emblem in the Dragon Pit. So right here we have a Geometry shot into Pantheon. Sona just blows away Lee Sin before I can get an assist. Right there I'm using my ult to slow Xayah. And here's Ekko. Bad news for him is I can just kite him. Now, unfortunately, Sona is overextending severely. She's greeting hard, which is a common theme for this game. So I'll go ahead and get a Fiendish Codex, and I want to get Lucid Boots for CDR. So you'll notice Kane right there just went into Shadow Assassin form. And there's Ekko's first kill of the game. But anyway, as I was saying, I wanted Lucid Boots so I have my summoners up more often. I also have my W up more often so that I can just keep pushing the wave, and that's my win condition here. As long as I'm keeping Ekko occupied, he's not roaming to other lanes and getting stuff done. And like I said, I can't kill him. If I get him low, he's just gonna ult. So this was a really random movement since bot lane was losing so badly. And even if Karma comes here, she can't actually do anything. So Sona shows up to offset the pressure, but the difference is we have Jhin here now. So in case you missed what happened there, Ekko recalled, bot, healed, refilled his potion, and then ulted back into lane. So right now we do have kill pressure on him since he went extremely greedy with his ult. So right there, Pantheon murders the top at the jungle. And hopefully you can see that he's going to start snowballing out of control momentarily. And unfortunately he's going to show up in mid. So right here is the first instance where Deathfire Touch would have been more handy, I want to say. But the good news is, since they were all grouped up together, the Thunderlord should have hit all three. So right here I'm dropping my E on Jin in case Ekko wants to jump in. He's going to eat my E, he'll eat the W, and then we can just blow him away. Remember that his ult is still down. Now Karma is being extremely greedy recalling there, and just cost her life. Okay, it's not that one, I think it's the next W that's going to kill her then. You can see she's still back there. So down goes Ekko. And there she goes. So no assist for me, but that was still kind of cool. Got to punish the greed. So they're going to go ahead and recall. I can afford to stick around because I'll just clear the wave. And then once they get back, then we can swap. So Xayah is kind enough to clear this for me so that I can just go ahead and last hit this with my autos, not having to waste any mana or anything. Overall, she's probably feeling pretty cocky since I'm at something like 20% mana. And right there, he made a mistake smiting that early. Had Xayah been in that brush, he could have stolen that. And yeah, I missed the cannon. So right here, I was kind of hoping they'd come mid, but I can't really afford to stick around. I have a lot of gold. Go ahead and pick up the Morellos and another Amplifying Tome, and as for what the tome turns into, I have a lot of options. I can go for Banshee's Veil in order to really take a lot of kill pressure off of Ekko. I can go into Liandry's Torment to try to play the poke game. Or not Liandry's, I mean Luden's. Well, I could go Liandry's, just try to burn them. It's just they don't have a tank for me to really abuse, so I'm not really interested in Liandry's at all this game. And in case you're wondering, the item I end up going for is going to be Death Cap. I just want to burst people from range. So Maximum Pain is the name of the game. So right there, that told us that the brush was warded since Lee turned around as I fired that. You can see Jin has Duskblade because lethality is that broken at the moment. And I should also mention, in case you're not familiar with how meditation works, the lower my mana gets, the more regen I get. So I'm at like half mana, approximately right now. It's somewhere around like 40% I'll actually regen just as much as I use, so that'll be the point I hover around for the most part. I'll still have enough to do a full combo, so don't really be alarmed that I'm at half mana. It doesn't really mean nearly as much for me as it does Ekko, since he has no regen. So there's Xayah. So just travel in an arc, and then she can't root you. In order for that to work, she'd have to actually stop attacking and travel in an arc just like you, but she has to move faster than you, which isn't always possible. So right there, we hit someone with the one projectile. We can see that... Actually, I can't tell. I might have hit both of them. So I canceled my ult early because I was hoping to get stuff out of them. I got the Xayah ult for one. So I do a geometry shot of Karma. And basically we just force them out of lane. So there's the new dragon, and it would be nice if they had an 80 carry around now. So the lesson to take from this is you don't always need to use your ult for kills. Sometimes if you're going to use it for a strategic play afterwards, such as a dragon, by all means use it. You can see right here they're not even lined up for me to properly use it, so I think I got the biggest bang for my buck by using it the way I did. But anyway, right here I'm just firing my spells off in rotation. Pantheon goes down, we lose Kayn. Lee died due to the attempted steal. Karma goes down with no assist for me, none for Jin either. And right here I want to seal off their escape route. So remember, I used my ult earlier, but it's back up. So I hit Xayah. I guess she didn't know I was here. was hoping to get something out of Ekko, but still good enough. Gives us the tower. So right here we'll grab our needlessly large run, and I'll go ahead and grab a refillable potion, because mid laner, well, AP characters generally have trouble healing. Poor Lee. So at this point, hopefully you realize the only thing keeping their team afloat is Pantheon. And the bad news is, Pantheon can actually single-handedly win this game for them. He made a really bad move ulting into the Dragon Pit for that Infernal fight. I don't really blame him for doing so, it's just we were able to focus him down and kill him.
Shut down.
So he got Fiora, dies to Jhin. Keep in mind that fight was in the jungle, so we're going to try to pressure top after the fact. Meanwhile, I just need to try to keep Ekko here. So you can see he's over by the red buff. All I have to do is just clear this, and then he has to either come back or I push. So right here, Sona's giving me the blue buff, which isn't really a big deal, because like I said, the way I have it set up, I'm going to hover at 40% mana, and I'll be fine pretty much afterwards. So in the meantime, someone needs to clear the bot lane, because Xayah can take the tower a lot faster than Ekko can, on account of being an actual AD character and having attack speed. So right there we got her ult out of her. Out comes the Sona ult, but it wasn't really a good ult, I have to say. Still, we clear the wave. And unfortunately, Scuttle is extremely hard to take. So right here I want to try to shoot over the wall to save Sona. Pantheon is here. Out comes the curtain call. And since there isn't really anything for me to do mid, I figure, you know what, I'll just go bot. So now it's 2 more kills for Sona. In that situation, I would say she's right in taking them, because Fiora was dead and Jin's assists came from his ult, so he wasn't even close to the fight. Now with the team pressuring mid, I figure that's probably going to get a more immediate response, so I can push this in deeper, get some damage done on the tower, pick up a little bit of extra gold, and maybe pull someone down bot. But when my team starts to back off, I have to follow suit. So I go ahead and drop a ward here for vision purposes, that way we can see if anyone's moving around. And right here we lose Jhin. So this is one of those jungle fights that Vel'Koz excels at. We pick up the Lee Sin kill, I blast cone Ekko over the wall. Now I'm standing away from it so he can't E over to me. He could technically just flip over the wall, yes, but that was kind of denied. Anyway, here is Pantheon, so I flash to create some distance. I use my E to knock him back. I set up my W so that he has to walk across and try to catch up to me. I fire the Q behind me to slow, and I'm out of here. Cost me both my summoners, yes. It's going to cost the mid lane tower too, but overall I'd say it's still good, because even if they killed me, I mean, they'd still take the tower. So this is the most optimal play, I have to say. Sadly, you do have to sacrifice stuff to achieve it, but sometimes that's how these strategy games go. You have to sacrifice stuff. But anyway, I get to go back, recharge. Vaporize the Pantheon. Sadly, I only get the 1 kill, no assists, but still, that's... taking Pantheon out of the fight is massive. Since he's pretty much the one guy keeping them in the game, him being removed from play means we're going to win any fight that takes place afterwards, even if our ults are down. So I'm using this to see if anyone's trying to ambush us. Using my W to just clear the wave. And right there we have cracked open the enemy base. So I'd say in this situation, Baron is probably the wiser call, but the jungler wants Dragon, and he's the guy with smite, so we have to go with him. Overall, Cloud Dragon is actually still pretty good for us to get because Jhin and I are immobile, so giving us more movement speed is going to help massively. Plus, the movement speed will actually help Sona get in range for a crescendo and stuff like that. Just due to the way our team is set up, we could all really use the movement speed. So it's not a really bad call, but I'd still say Baron would be the wiser pick up. Anyway, here I go ahead and grab Deathcap. Grab another Amp Tome. And from here I'd probably want Banshee's Veil, that way I can at least block something that's going to try to interrupt my ult. Thing is, at this stage of the game, you can see Ekko is not really a threat. The most menacing member of the enemy team is Pantheon, who I'm going to kite to oblivion right here. So I'm firing that in case someone's waiting in the brush. And there's the Spartan. And down he goes. And like I said, trading my ult for his life is really good. He's the entire enemy team. So right there I knocked her up like a skeet, and then Jhin popped her. Meanwhile, I'm looping around here trying to tell Sona that I was coming. I detonated the Q early as a deterrent, that way if Karma kept pushing forward, she actually would have gotten hit. Since she backed off, it doesn't hit anything, and it might have saved Sona's life. We don't know how much damage Karma actually does. But right there, that's the end of the game. Once we won that team fight, that was pretty much it, and I have to say, Pantheon dying is what won us the fight. So right here I use my spells to deter him from attacking Fiora. And right here I'm just trying to poke someone down, like Ekko there. Or Pantheon. And that's the end of the game. So I don't know if something changed in the hotfix, but I have not been able to dance on enemy bases lately. Right here Sona steals one more. And we're going to see the endgame screen. Now the bad news is, off camera I did get Rek'Sai and Jax's boxes. So I don't have anything to get here, but this is an S- rank game. So I'm giving the honors to Sona, even though she KS'd like no tomorrow. There you go. So if I had a box, I would have gotten it. So you can see I'm number 2 for damage behind Jhin. I actually dealt more than Pantheon. Damage taken, I'm the least because I was sitting all the way in the back like Jhin was. And you can see the gold numbers and everything else there. But that's a wrap for now. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.